everyone, this is Caitlin Smith with MyMD Connect. This week for the video, we are going to do something a little bit different. I actually have Jason Galvin here from New Synergy, and I wanted to introduce him because I was talking with him and he introduced me to a concept called a spousal HRA. And I had never really heard about a spousal HRA. I had heard about opt-out policies and things of that nature, but I had never heard of this concept. And I thought it was really interesting. And there was a lot of organizations that could benefit from it. And so I wanted to take a minute to let him introduce this concept to you guys so that way you will understand, hey, is this anything that may potentially benefit any of my clients and the organizations I serve? So with that, I'm going to throw it over to Jason and let him explain here what exactly, is and what the heck is a spousal HRA.
Thank you very much, Caitlin. Good morning, everyone. So a spousal HRA is simply a way to save your employer a ton of money. Basically, the way it works, you're not able to force the spouses or dependents off of your plan, but you can provide an incentive. So if I'm married, New Synergy can come to me and say, hey, Jason, if your wife has group coverage available, through her job or another way, see if she'll jump on that plan. And if she does, we'll provide you guys an HRA to cover her out-of-pocket expenses. You can bring the dependents with you as well. And the benefit to that is that you are now removing all of the extra claims responsibility from your plan, all of the extra premium, and you're just focusing on your employees and, not having all the extra claims and the premiums. And then you're not looking at large increases the following year. It's a great way to save some money.
Awesome. Well, I'm a big fan of this concept. I think it's great. For brokers that now know what this is, can you kind of put some color around for them? What is the ideal client? What does that typical client kind of look like? So brokers can understand based off of their book of business, which particular clients this should be something that they discuss with.
And so it's going to be, mainly geared towards your larger groups, groups where, a group of 20, the spouses on your plan is not going to be a significant amount of money, as far as what you're spending out of pocket. The insurance is going to cover most of that anyway. But with the larger groups, especially groups where, the employer has claims responsibility, that is where the savings is going to be. Mm-hmm. If my wife and my kids go to the doctor and go to the hospital and have $100,000 medical bill, instead of my employer group being on the hook for that, my employer group is only on the hook for the max out of pocket on her plan. Mm-hmm. And it's compliant as long as it's defined as covering the full max out of pocket for that person.
Gotcha.
Everyone knows that it's going to be, vary from employer to employer. One employer's plan might be $5,000, one employer's plan might be $6,000. It's going to vary. So in order to make it fair, you just define it as covering the max.
Gotcha. Well, that is extremely interesting in how that works. You had mentioned just now in kind of what you were saying, you mentioned savings. And obviously, as brokers, that's one thing that we are always trying to get for our clients. Can you provide an example of a client that has saved, or specifically just kind of, what do those savings generally look like when someone implements this spousal HRA?
So full transparency, we love transparency in this business. Full transparency, we just launched this past year. So we don't have a full year worth of pieces yet under our belt to provide a whole ton of information on that yet. But what we have seen so far is about an average of about 41% savings on the claims. So,
I heard that right. 41%, not
right.
1 to 4%, 41% savings on it. Wow.
Right. Because if my spouse is on her plan at her job and she goes and she has $100,000 worth of work done at the hospital, my company's only on the hook for $5,000 to cover her max out of pocket. Mm-hmm. That expense goes to her employer or her insurance company or wherever. So my responsibility is done at her max out of pocket. Mm-hmm. And, if I'm only having to cover $5,000 out of $100,000 worth of medical bills, I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah. Well, and it's a pretty sweet deal for the spouse as well. I mean, because then all of everything's covered for them, which I mean, who the heck wouldn't want that? That's awesome, you know?
Right. And,
Uh,
when I was married, my premiums here, just through my benefits were really expensive.
mhm,
And if it was just me insured on the plan, I'd be paying $26.
right.
You know what I mean? So, having those extras really is a big cost driver.
Yeah. Have you I gotten feedback from people that have utilized this? I mean, has there been any positive, praises that you guys have gotten from employees and the impact that's had on their families?
Yeah, I mean, people, by having fewer premiums coming out of their own pockets,
Mhm.
employees are able to save some money, and they know that they're max out of pocket regardless of where they're insured. That's it. They're not going to have anything extra on top of that, because any
Right.
of the extras like balance bills and all that stuff.
Mhm.
uh, the key thing though that I haven't mentioned yet is this is best for in-network expenses. That's what it'll cover the best. If you
Gotcha.
have people that are going out of network, they're not very conscious of their spending anyway if they're going out of network, unless it's absolutely necessary.
Right.
So that's definitely something that you want to know about.
Right. Well, I think this is great. I mean, we hear that statistic all the time that 60% of bankruptcies are caused by medical bills. And so
Absolutely.
this is something that would really alleviate a lot of that stress for individuals of, hey, my spouse doesn't necessarily need on my plan, but if something did for whatever reason happen to them, we don't have to worry about that. Like, we are covered. That your employer is taking care of your spouse. And
Yep.
so I think that's incredibly impactful for the employee. Obviously, it's a win for the employer because they're saving money. It's just all good stuff going around and around. So I love this. I think it's great, and excited to implement it for some people.
Absolutely. And anybody out there that wants to get a hold of me, you know, she's going to post this on LinkedIn. So we'll find me on LinkedIn, look me up. I'm happy to help anybody. And we've got sales representation all across the country. So it doesn't matter where you are, we can help.
Yeah. All right, awesome. Well, I appreciate everything that you had to say today about spousal HRAs, Jason. Again, I think this is awesome. It's definitely something that brokers should consider implementing for clients. And hopefully it's just one more step into transforming the healthcare industry and making sure individuals are better protected and taken care of. And so it's a win for everyone. And I'm just really happy we were able to get on here and share this information with others.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Caitlin. I appreciate
Yeah.
it.
Absolutely. Well, thank you guys again for tuning in. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. My email is ksmith@mymdconnect.com. I hope you guys have a great day and thanks for tuning in. Bye.
Thanks. Bye, guys.